Hi guys, welcome back. So I just bought into a brand new position for my portfolio and I thought I'd share it with you. And this video will be a bit different from what I usually do because I won't do an extensive stock analysis. But I still wanted to briefly share my thoughts on Novo Nordisk with you and why I added them today. My name's Florian, thank you for joining me today. And I'm sorry if my voice sounds a bit rough today. I was flying around Europe on a business trip with a cold last week, which wasn't too great for my throat. But now, let's get into the details of why I bought Novo Nordisk. Since the middle of last year, Novo Nordisk had a hard time and the stock lost almost 50% of its value since then. And there were and still are multiple reasons for this. While they are a provider of a plethora of different drugs, mostly related to diabetes and weight loss, recently, the company is best known for its GLP-1 drugs like Wegovy. With these drugs, they are currently the market leader in the field of weight loss drugs and could almost triple their patient, or should I say customer reach, in just 3 years. At the moment, they are sitting at the market share of roughly 63%. And because of this insane demand for these drugs that could not be fulfilled in the slightest, Novo Nordisk also invested heavily in new production to increase their capacity. And this was of course noticeable in their cash flows. But they are not the only ones in this market, with their biggest competitor being Eli Lilly that got the FDA approval for their drug Zepbound in 2023. And while Novo's drugs are based on the medicine semaglutide, Eli Lilly's drugs are based on a different medicine, namely tirzepatide. And over the course of last year, more and more studies showed that Eli Lilly's medicine is more effective than Novo's. It led to a higher weight loss of 20% compared to 30% with Wegovy, and at the same time the effect lasted longer and the medicine was even sold at a lower price. So investors got very worried that Novo will fall behind in the battle of weight loss drugs and will be overtaken by Eli Lilly and other emerging competitors shortly. But the thing is, this is not a static situation, but all involved companies are constantly trying to enhance their drugs and invent newer ones that are more efficient. And just a couple of weeks ago, Novo released their latest phase 1b and 2a trials with amycretin that led to a weight loss of up to 22%, which indicates again that this might be even more effective than Lilly's current drugs. Now, the thing is, I don't believe that Novo can keep up the absolute dominant position they had in this market forever. Many other companies have noticed the potential already and the competition is rising. So I think that this will not be the end, but there will be other drugs that are even more efficient. And just to be very clear, amycretin is also not FDA approved and not on the market yet. There are many more tests and approvals to be had before it can be sold. But up to now, it looks promising. And over the course of the last years, Novo could grow their business very nicely with these drugs, and we see a remarkable growth in the top line as well as the bottom line. So, with the mounting competition that currently has even better drugs, investors are worried that this will be the end of Novo's growth streak. But I don't believe this. Obesity and diabetes are huge problems in today's society, and I don't believe that this will change anytime soon. On the contrary, the data shows that the trend is even increasing and a larger and larger portion of the population is obese. And this is especially true for developed countries. So while countries like India that have a huge population are increasing their living standards, the overall global population that struggles with obesity and diabetes will most likely also further increase. And we should not forget that while obesity care was Novo's quickest growing business, they are still earning a lot of money with GLP-1 drugs for diabetes and also insulin. And despite their investments in new production facilities, their balance sheet still looks great with 15.6 billion Danish crowns or $1.5 billion in cash. And even though their debt level has increased last year, the net debt to EBITDA ratio is still at a low 0.5 times. And they have also bought back shares every year for more than 10 years now. But unfortunately, this will not happen next year. While they still plan to pay and increase their dividend, they don't have any plan to buy back any shares because their capex level for 2025 is expected to further increase compared to the already high levels of last year. And on top of all that, there is currently a lawsuit against Novo Brewing because of allegedly misleading information about a phase 3 study on another obesity product, namely Redefine 1. So there are valid reasons for a decline in stock price, at least in the short run. But as always, I am buying Novo for the long run and for their dividends and dividend growth. And for this, you get a financially strong market leader in the diabetes and obesity care market that I think will keep growing for years to come at a discount. Right now, they have a dividend yield of 2%, could grow their dividend with 18.7% per year for the last 5 years, and still have a very reasonable cash flow payout ratio of 36%. Their valuation on a forward-looking basis is also pretty cheap right now, with a PE of 20 compared to the sector of 17.4, EV to EBITDA of 14 compared to 12.2, and price to cash flow of 20 with a sector median here of 15. So this is all still a bit above the sector median, but keep in mind that you get a market leader for this. The PEG ratio, on the other hand, that puts the PE ratio in context with the company's expected growth, is way below the median and with a low 0.8 even qualifies as undervalued according to Peter Lynch's definition. And you definitely don't get a market leader for this valuation every day, even when comparing it to their own 5-year history. The valuation right now is close to the lowest levels they had in this time frame. So yeah, I've had them on my watchlist for over a year now, and I have also talked about them a couple of times here on this channel. And I have also said that I want to increase my allocation in Europe. So now it's time to pull the trigger. I think that despite the current risks, the stock is vastly oversold. The company is still financially very healthy, and I believe that even if the competition is rising, the market will keep growing for many years. That is why I believe that now is a great time to enter a position and benefit especially from the huge dividend growth for years to come. And guys, I am trying to be fully transparent about my investments and my investment strategy here on this channel. That is why I also update my portfolio on a regular basis. If this sounds interesting to you, be sure to check out my latest update right here. And this is no financial advice. So please, before investing, do your own research and only use this video as a starting point for your own analysis. That being said, thank you so much for watching guys, and see you in the next video.